Have you ever wondered what an intelligent brain actually looks like when it's really working hard? I mean, for decades, neuroscience has been on this quest to find the biological roots of intelligence. And today, we're diving into a brand new study that gives us a fascinating new blueprint. So let's get into it. Seriously, just think about it for a second. That moment of intense focus, when you're wrestling with a really tricky problem, what is physically happening up there? This isn't just some philosophical question. It's the exact scientific puzzle that researchers are trying to solve, mapping out the neural fireworks that power our thinking. Okay, so to understand where we're going with this new research, we kind of have to know where we've been. For a long time, the main idea about intelligence in the brain gave us what you could call the first map. Now, this first map is called the periofrontal integration theory, or PFIT for short. And the core idea is pretty simple. Intelligence is all about a neural superhighway. It's about how efficiently the front of your brain, the frontal lobes, can talk to the back of your brain, the parietal lobes. The whole theory was really focused on the strength of this one big communication channel. But here's the thing. What if it's not just about one single superhighway? A new idea, the multi-layer processing theory, suggests the picture is way more complex. It's less like one road and a lot more like an entire buzzing traffic system. Let's see what that looks like. This chart really makes the difference pop. PFIT, that's the old map on the left, it was all about communication within that one key network, that single superhighway. But the new map, MLPT on the right, it looks at coordination across a bunch of different brain networks. It's the whole shebang, local side streets and long-range highways all working together in sync. And this new theory makes two really specific, testable predictions. First, it says that higher intelligence should be linked to more complex, think more flexible signals over long distances in the brain. So the brain's long-range coordinators are just more adaptable. And second, it predicts that the local, short-range signals should actually be simpler, more efficient. So this new study we're digging into set out to test these ideas for the very first time. So the first piece of evidence comes from MRI scans. Researchers had 67 people solving intelligence test problems inside the scanner. This part of the study was all about the spatial question. Where are the key hubs that are running this intelligent traffic system? The researchers asked a really crucial question. When we're talking about intelligence, what really matters? Is it just having the most connections? That's what the degree map on the left is showing. Or is it about having connections that act like bridges between different brain networks? That's the participation coefficient on the right. In other words, is it about sheer quantity, or is it about the quality and diversity of those connections? And yup, the answer was crystal clear. It wasn't about the number of connections at all. Instead, higher intelligence scores were linked to the diversity of connections. The highlighted spots there show that people with higher scores had hubs in their frontal and parietal regions that were way better at connecting across different brain networks. They were basically the brain's master coordinators. But hang on, that's only half the story. The where is super important, but what about the when and the how? For that, the team turned to a totally different tool, EEG, with a separate group of 131 people to look at the brain's electrical signals in real time. Exactly. I mean, a map of the roads is useful, but you really need to see how the traffic is flowing from moment to moment, right? So that's what they looked at next, how the brain's electrical signals were actually behaving. And check this out, this is the first incredible finding. This graph shows brain signal complexity, basically how unpredictable and full of information the signals are. The gray line is the brain just chilling out, at rest. The black line is the brain while solving puzzles. See that jump? Tackling a hard problem made the brain's signals way more complex. The brain literally shifts into a more dynamic, more flexible mode to think. And here's the clincher, where it all connects directly back to intelligence. On this chart, the warmer the color, the stronger the connection is. And what this shows is that the more intelligent a person was, the more complex their long-range brain signals became while they were working on the task. So, a high-performing brain isn't just wired better, its actual electrical activity is more flexible and dynamic. All right, so let's put these two big pieces of evidence together. We've got the fMRI data on diverse connections and the EEG data on signal complexity. What kind of new blueprint for intelligence starts to emerge from all this? The researchers themselves summed it up perfectly. They propose that network flexibility is the key. It's the brain's amazing ability to adapt its connections and its signals on the fly to efficiently coordinate all these different neural systems to solve a problem. So, what's the big takeaway here? According to this new blueprint, an intelligent brain isn't just about raw horsepower. It's more diversely connected, acting like a master coordinator. It's more flexible, generating these complex, information rich signals when it's challenged. And this whole system is driven by those critical hubs in the frontoparietal regions, not as a single highway, but as the command center for a super flexible dynamic traffic system. And that leaves us with a really fascinating final question. If the very bedrock of intelligence is this dynamic, adaptable quality of network flexibility, does that open up the possibility that it's something we can actually improve? Can we train our brains to be more flexible? That is the tantalizing thought this new research leaves us with.